I am flawed. I know this isn't where they put it, but I feel like this wouldn't last as long. I just finished, like, literally moments ago, reading Flawed by Cecelia Ahern. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Flawed was really good. Now, full disclosure, I did receive this book for free in exchange for a review through the Love and Them Books book tour. I did another one of these previously, and I'll link that in the cards and the description below. You know, I pick these books that I want to review based on the description and if it's the type of book that I like. And this, of course, is what I'm assuming is the first of a trilogy, an eventual trilogy, dystopian teen girl protagonist story. And I like those. I think those are fun. And this one was really good. I really could get behind a lot of what this book is about. And I think it's cool that it's not the technology of the world that is what is causing all of the problems. It's people. So Flawed takes place in a version of the world where there is a committee called the Guild who is responsible for policing people's moral behaviors. Now, they're not the government. They're not laws. They're just basically judging people based on their actions, and if they are seen to be imperfect or flawed, then they basically become a second-class citizen. They get branded, actually branded with hot searing iron. Bad judgment is considered flawed, and they have these courts, and they're usually almost always considered flawed, and then they have to wear an armband, a red armband indicating they're flawed. And basically they just have to live like a basic life. They say it's not as bad as being in prison, but in a way it's almost worse because they're living amongst the rest of the world, yet they don't have any privileges, they don't have any rights, almost. And that's really interesting because it's definitely something that you can think of in a way of society today. Discrimination, equal rights, things like that. Which is why I think this book is really, really interesting. I tore through this book. I wasn't convinced at the very beginning. You know, I thought, okay, I know what this is, but it got really, really good. Another thing that's very important to note about this book is that the main character is multiracial, and there's also a gay character. It's like mentioned, like it's not a part of their whole Flawed system, and that was really refreshing. Also, this book's very beautiful. I mean, look at this dust cover. It's one of these like clear things, like I'm afraid I'm gonna tear it. And then the main character, Celestine, she's about to turn 18, so it is that teenage female changing the world scenario we've all read. But I love that story. I'm never gonna get sick of that being the tale. And people joke that, oh, it's always a teenage girl that saves the world. Well, these books are written for teenagers. They're written for young people, and of course they should be made to believe that they can change the world. They can stand up for what they believe in. And I think that's just so great. I'm really excited to read more about Celestine. I'm going to definitely be looking for the other books in this series because it definitely ends at a cliffhanger, and I have to find out what happens to her. Now for the fun part, when we spoil some stuff. Forward till this is gone if you don't want spoilers. First I want to talk about Juniper, her slightly older sister, who I feel like I can relate to a lot. She's very defensive, quiet, kind of, you know, angry-ish person. She kind of reminds me in high school. I'd be really curious to see what my sister thought of this book. It's no fun to have a book about teenagers without some sort of romance. I loved how it was really like, it wasn't the main focus at all. It was very, very small part of the story is like her boyfriend and that whole drama and the whole drama with her boyfriend and her sister. Like that was like, it was there, and the reactions made sense based on, you know, their ages. I think that the honesty of that is okay. but like it wasn't the main focus. I also love that she's all about logic and what makes sense and what is true. I can relate to that a little bit. I'm a bit of a neurotic person sometimes. The police are here to protect. They're not here to enforce the rules of the guild. The rules of the guild are not laws, you know, and I love that whole scene at the end when she's not standing up for anything. She's not making a statement. She's not trying to start a riot. She's literally just being logical and being like, this is what you do. This is what we were taught that what you do. Why aren't you doing what we're taught that what you do? What you're doing right now, that doesn't make sense. It's not logical. Like, what is going on here? And then everyone else is just like, she's so brave. Celestine, you're a symbol of the revolution. There's currently a giveaway happening right now for Flawed, so if you'd like to win this book, check the link in the description. There's also a link to where you can purchase the book and the social media accounts for the author. Go check it out. It's super great. You gotta read this book. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Grace from Lovin' Them Books BookTube Tours for letting me review this book, and thanks to the author as well because I really enjoyed it. I hope to read the rest of the series when they're out. I have other book reviews if you'd like to watch them, or other BookTube-esque videos, reading wrap-ups, tags, the whole lot. Go check those out if you'd like. I will see you here next week on Magic Cat Jenny. Meow.